All right, so it's Dr. Betsy Greenleaf here with another episode of Body, Mind, Spirit. Just wait for today. Today is going to be a really good treat because we have Rada Agarwal here. She is like the ultimate Renaissance woman. I mean, I can't keep track of all the things that she's done in her life, and I'm not even going to do justice to all the things that she's done, but she's the CEO and Chief Community architect of Daybreaker, a global morning dance, music, and wellness movement. They have their app, which is their Dose app. She has written a book. She's had multiple nine-figure businesses in the wellness space. And I said, I can't even keep track of all the things that you do. So thank you so much, Rada, for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Betsy. It's great to be here.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to mention really quickly. So I absolutely loved your book. So right here, I got the book. I mean, the book is amazing and even the graphics in it. But I really want to talk about your app because I think the way you started out with your dance party and now you're able to bring it into people's homes. But first of all, let's just start. How did Daybreaker even start?
I think when when you're building anything, it's really hard to sort of like let your hair down and feel totally free doing it. And I think Daybreaker really started as a social experiment to see, would people be down to dance at sunrise without any substances, so that women would feel safer to let their hair down and dance, so that there wasn't any alcohol or substances in the space, that we could really bring performance art and creative expression at a time of day when we're usually sleeping or on a treadmill by ourselves at some gym. And so it was just an opportunity to kind of give us a space to connect with other people, find belonging, find connection, move our bodies in a way that was really fun and playful and engaging, like dance parties are, and do them in iconic spaces like the top of the World Trade Center or the White House or the Museum of Natural History, or really interesting spaces that were normally closed at that time, that we could really kind of bring a little bit of mischief and wink into those spaces, while practicing wellness and joy at the same time. And sure, we sure need more joy right now, in this country.
Definitely. And I mean, you've toured with Oprah doing this for her. How did that end up coming to be?
Yeah. So, one of Oprah's team members, she worked for us at Daybreaker. She was one of our Chicago producers. She brought all of our Daybreaker dance parties to Chicago and did it with such just impressive community leadership and grace. And then she worked for Oprah before, and she went back to work for her. And then of course, like, evangelized Daybreaker when she was inside the halls of Oprah's office. And so, I think she really has so much to do with us going on tour with her, but also that Oprah loves to dance. Oprah loves to kind of, open her events in different ways. It wasn't just some speaker that came and opened, which would be great, but just she wanted to bring more energy into her stadiums. And so she invited Daybreaker and me to open every stop of her 9-stadium tour, which is such a dream come true.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden, then everybody hits the pandemic. And so here we end up having your live dance parties that were just, taking off all over the place. And then you ended up pivoting, because for most people, the pandemic shut everyone down. So when that first happened, like, what were you guys thinking?
Yeah, we were just like, we got to keep the dance party going. People really need us. Like, people were dropping like flies from suicide and anxiety and depression and loneliness and isolation. And so our team quickly learned how to throw a dance party on Zoom and throw a dance party online, and like really use all the tools, technology, to really try to create an environment where people felt, again, a sense of belonging, a sense of celebration in a very, very scary, very kind of isolating time. So we knew that if we didn't do it, there would be a lot more casualties. And so we would have we continue to do them today. We do a dance party once a month online. We have like 30,000 people who come online and dance with us. And we've had acts like Boys to Men and, Gloria Estefan and the Village People and, so many different types of bands like that come and join us online since they were stuck at home as well and wanted to kind of do concerts from their own homes as well. So we hosted them and 20,000 people dance parties. And then I was a MC with my co-MC from the comforts of my living room. So it was like wild to go from, 15,000 person Oprah Stadium into like my little living room, still MCing for 20,000 people. So it was like a very kind of wild experience. 2020 was, yeah.
When you first think about it, I kind of think of dance party. I kind of think, oh, that's something for younger people. But you guys have really reached out and have drawn in and attracted people of all ages. And I think I remember even seeing that like AARP partnered with you guys.
Absolutely. They're actually one of our biggest partners to date. In fact, our biggest partner in 2022. And yeah, we really believe that dancing is for everyone and that dancing is a gateway to trauma release. Dancing is a gateway to courage. Dancing is a gateway to connection. Dancing is a gateway to just really moving into states of joy, right, and wonder. And it's for everybody. It's not just for young people. It's just I'm in my 40s and I dance every single day at my house in the morning as my way to wake up my body. And my daughter, I have a 3-year-old daughter as well. We dance in the morning as well. And it really is for everybody. And I think once we stop telling ourselves that dancing is for young people or dancing, I'm not a dancer, I need to be drunk to be dancing. When we stop sort of calling ourselves names, we actually realize that dance is the most ancient form of celebration. And it continues to be the highlight of our lives, the dance at our wedding, the dance at graduation, the dance at the festival we went to, or it continues to be a very kind of important pivotal moment in our joyous sort of memories, right? And so, to give people that reminder that dance is for everybody, especially online, where you're dancing in the comfort of your own home. We have people in their 80s down to young babies trapped with their mothers dancing with us. So it's a really beautiful opportunity to democratize dance for everyone and remind people old and young that it really is such an important, courageous, connected act of celebration and joy.
I have to say now, skipping ahead, when did you guys start the app? Because I'm loving the app. So people, you got to go check the app out.
Yeah. And actually you have a discount code as well. Like I just offer to all of your listeners, but essentially, we wanted to create the first ever platform to practice joy. And we really wanted to give humans a place to go to move their bodies that wasn't about six-pack abs or leaderboards or sculpting your body, but it was really about moving your body in gentle ways to find your way from a state of trauma, sadness, anxiety, depression, frustration, anger, to states of joy and states of equanimity, states of hope, states of gratitude. And there really wasn't a place online to do that. There's therapy clinics you can go and talk your way out of things. But we all know that actually the trauma release and all of the healing happens in your body. You as a doctor knows this more than anyone. And so to really create a space for practitioners to come and teach on our platform how to embody practices around healing. So it was so we have dance practices, we have tapping practice, we have forest bathing, so walking in nature together. We have breathwork classes, we have meditation and yoga classes, of course, and we have all kinds of different lecture series as well, focused on joy and moving from states of trauma to states of joy, or just here are 300 plus library of content to actually get yourself glistening, moving your body. So you're not just sitting in a chair learning statically, but you're actually moving into those states. So I'm really, really proud and excited. We have thousands of members on the platform. We have 75 doctors also that we have onboarded already to prescribe joy to their patients. And we're the first movement practice and platform with a library of classes that doctors are now prescribing joy to their patients around. And we really want to make this the next big movement to not just practice yoga or practice mindfulness or meditation, but really go and practice joy. Go to a joy studio and go and practice joy. And we're building a whole program called Functional Joy. It's a whole universe like functional medicine, but we're calling this sort of field functional joy. And we're building a whole teaching modality, a teacher training modality to train practitioners, doctors, and folks in the healing arts ways to be accredited and certified in functional joy as well. So we're building an ecosystem around joy, and we think that that's such a new frontier that is so old, right? That is so sort of the past. Joy is a human experience from the moment we became human, and yet there really hasn't been a field of joy to help you practice it every single day.
That is so incredibly important, because this is what I talk to patients about all the time. And we talk about it all the time on this podcast and the show, is that ultimate health is like a three-legged stool. You have to have body, mind, and spirit. And so many times the traditional medical system focuses on the body, but yet it's more important to be focusing on, for example, the joy practices, because we know that statistically that somebody who's been given a diagnosis of cancer, they're less likely to survive if they're not feeling joyful, or they're not feeling a sense of community, or they're not feeling a sense of belonging. They're more likely to die, and they're more likely to survive and overcome their cancer if they have these practices in place. So,
well, that's right. And the other thing that to note is that, it's really impossible to experience the kind of the ecstasy, the penultimate level of joy without community. You cannot find true joy if you don't belong and you don't feel connected. So my book Belong and joy practice to me goes so hand in hand, because in order to practice joy, you want to find a community with whom to practice it with. And that's why we created Daybreaker Plus, which is our platform to practice joy, because it is a community now of thousands of people that we pair you up with. We have accountability coaching once a month as part of your membership. And we really just sort of create a community where you can actually practice joy with each other. And I think that's the biggest part of this equation that people aren't talking about. There's a 95% increase in you completing any course that you want to do, or any task that you want to do, or any, just any commitment that you promise yourself, if you have someone holding you accountable. And so so we built that into our platform, and our community is a really a way for people to feel truly accountable with one another in that experience. Yeah.
It's funny, just before with the commercial break, I just have to mention, so I hate exercise. And
Right.
So what the app has been able to do for me has created an option of movement that's healthy without being that like, oh my God, I got to exercise. So I'll throw on one of the dance parties, and my kids and I will be like dancing around the living room. So it's been really fun. And I can't wait to talk to you more about the like neurochemistry of this, and get into more things about joy when we come back from the commercial break.
80% of women will develop a pelvic health condition at some point in their lives. There is relief. There is hope. The Pelvic Floor Store, your resource for personal health.
And we're back with Rada Agarwal, the CEO and co-founder of Daybreaker. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just so excited to be talking with you. I was talking too about, I was thinking with some of my patients, like I'm actually like in the office trying to express to them like how important it is to really have joy in your life. And I've gotten to the point where I've actually brought the app up and like showed them videos, or we've watched them together in the office. But, for maybe some of the people that are out there are pessimistic and they're like, oh, joy, like, oh, great. But there's actually like bodily changes and chemicals that are produced in our body that we need for health. And so what have you been finding with your research into that?
Yeah, so we partnered with UC Berkeley and the Greater Good Science Center out of California to really sort of unpack what is actually happening when you practice joy. And by the way, practicing joy doesn't mean bypassing all the struggle. It actually means moving through the struggle. Like to actually experience joy. Joy, you can find joy in sadness. You can find joy in sort of the difficult moments in your life. It's just really how you orient your perspective. But in our research with the Greater Good Science Center, we found that there's 4 neurochemicals that are really connected with your joy. And I discovered that they spell out the word dose. So
I love that.
dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. These are your 4 happy neurochemicals. And these are the transmitters that are focused on joy and happiness. And so if you learn how to release them yourself naturally and take control over your neurochemistry, then all of a sudden you begin to see life differently. So if you're feeling a block in your writer's block, or just a block in your work and you just can't get past a hump, okay, you need more dopamine in your life. So now that you know that, you can go on the Daybreaker Plus platform, you can type in dopamine classes or practices, and then in 11 minutes, you can unlock your dopamine, right? Because we've organized all of our classes on the platform by neurochemical. So dopamine is your pleasure reward center, as you probably know. It's sort of the neurochemical that says, I got stuff done. It's a neurochemical that when you're in flow state, you really feel that, when you have that dopamine release, you feel like you can really kind of get into flow state. Your ideas come naturally. It feels like you're calling in universal, sort of truths. And dopamine is also what you feel, that joy that you feel when you're listening to music, and that sense of connection to your senses. That's dopamine. Oxytocin is all about connection and sense of intimacy, and it's that cuddle hormone, right? When someone gives you a hug, it feels so good. So if you're missing oxytocin in your life, again, you type in oxytocin on our platform and you'll have there's a self-massage class on our platform, or there's a tapping practice, or there's a breathwork class where you just connect with your heart and yourself. And there's so many ways you can give yourself oxytocin and release it on your own that we don't realize we can do just through breath, different types of breath patterns. There's just through different self-massage practices and techniques, just the way you can hold yourself and different ways to do that. Of course, we encourage you on the platform to connect with other people as well, but you really can practice how to release oxytocin by doing just a few simple practices on the site. But again, hugging and touching and words of affirmation are very much some of those ways to do that. The S in dose is your serotonin, which you probably know very well is your mood stabilizer, right? So it's when you're feeling anxious or depressed, it's actually typically you're lower in serotonin. When we talk about SSRI meds, it's about serotonin, right? It's about bringing you more serotonin in your system to give you boosts of joy and boosts of sort of mood stabilization if you're feeling low. So some of the things that you can do in the platform to boost your serotonin is dance. So we have dance classes on the platform. It takes you on a forest bathing and nature walks where you're going outside because the sun gives you a serotonin release. Serotonin is made mostly in your gut as well. So there's a lot of different practices on gut health and gut support. Smiling, just fake smiling, is just a very simple way of tricking your brain to release serotonin. So even if you're feeling in a bad mood or sad or anxious or upset, if you just close your eyes and just smile, and just fake to smile, all of a sudden your whole body gets flooded with serotonin, and all of a sudden you feel good again. You start kind of feeling more joyful again. And then the E in dose is your endorphins. And again, if you type that on the platform, you'll get a series of classes like dance classes. Endorphins is all about being breathless. It's about being, it's about sort of it's that euphoria, that runner's high that you get from being out of breath, from being red-faced, that kind of, that when your heart rate goes up. It's the awe, it's the exaltation. It's when you orgasm from sex, like that's all endorphin release, right? So on the platform, we get that by doing high, sort of more like a more vigorous dance class. We'll do a sort of a more movement yoga class. There's sort of more high, sort of like not high intensity, but just high energy classes on the platform. Since we've learned recently that high intensity classes can sometimes actually spike cortisol, make you more stressed, and can create heart arrhythmia if you're not used to doing high intensity interval training workouts. So yeah, the whole platform and kind of practicing joy, releasing your dose, is not about moving your body to where you're wanting to faint or you're to failure. It's really about moving your body to what I call glistening, to, sort of like to states of joy and euphoria. So it's really, really in a different kind of way to think about exercise, different kind of way to think about moving your body. And we're the first ones to do it. So super excited about it.
It's also pretty neat when you do the classes. I mean, you have it all, they're all color coded too. Were the colors that you picked specifically, do
Yes.
the colors also help to express those different neurotransmitters?
Yes. So if you watch our orientation video, which sounds like you did, each color is connected to a neurochemical. So oxytocin is about love and connection. And if you look at actually color coding, color psychology, color therapy, pinks and reds are connected to love, which is why Valentine's Day cards are pinks and reds. So oxytocin is connected to pink on our platform, pinks and reds. Dopamine is all about getting things done, focus. It's the money tree. So it's greenish, turquoise in color. That's known to really be kind of a catalyst for you feeling excited and connected to those parts of your brain. Serotonin we have in yellow. Yellow we know is connected to happiness, smiles, just making you feel happy, joyful, stabilizing your mood. So yellow is all of our serotonin classes. And then endorphins classes is purple, which is more a seductress, kind of like euphoric, royal color connected to, I guess, peak states of ecstasy and orgasm. So those are your 4 happy neurochemicals.
And it's also really neat because when you're watching these, and what we do in our household is I cast it to my television. So then we get it on the big TV. And then there's all these words of affirmation all around the screen. So whether you're actively reading it or just kind of picking it up, because your brain's always being constantly exposed to different information. So even if you're not actively reading, it's still getting into your consciousness. So those words of affirmation are also boosting your hormones and joy. So
that's right. And how has it helped you? I'm curious to hear like what your experience has been like being a member for several months now.
Yeah, it's been really fun because, like I said, I never was really a big exerciser person. So I started out with this as this has been my way to get moving. But just in general, I've been noticing I'm sleeping better. I feel better. I'm having more confidence. I actually, talking about confidence, I just joined a pole dancing class because I was like, I want more fun things to do.
Yes, so, Betsy.
I'm doing that, and then that's actually brought some more community. And then I've been telling the people at my class about your app. So it's great. And I would love to, because I know you guys are actually touring again. I would love to get to one of your in-person in your in-person events.
Yeah, we just literally announced today our first tour in February, March of this year. And what city are you in, Betsy?
I'm in New Jersey, so I'm not too far from New York.
Okay, yeah. So New York is going to be in March, end of March, I think March 21st. So summer solstice. But yeah, we're doing events in Antarctica in March.
Wow.
We're doing a dance party with the penguins to bring awareness. There we're doing just events in some of the most iconic locations all around the country to sort of bring wonder and joy back and spread dance again around the country, which we all know. everyone needs to dance again. We just need to get back out there and get back out with other people and dance again.
And the other thing I was thinking about with dance is it's really kind of translates to every single community on the earth. I mean, every
That's
tribe
right.
out there has some form of dance as expression.
That's right. And it's kind of wild that we still look at dance as a redheaded stepchild in the healing arts, that because it's hard to measure in a lab, for doctors to prescribe dance as a way to let loose, as a way to find connection, as a way to make friends, as a way to find courage, as a way to self-express. There's so many reasons why dance is so potent for your mind, body health, your mind, body, spirit health. And because it's been hard to measure, because everyone's experience of dance is different, it's been hard to prescribe. But we're the first ones now. We're actually doing a comprehensive study with UC Berkeley this spring, where we'll be measuring actually before and after and doing all kinds of cheek swab tests for different sort of neurotransmitters and what's happening in people's minds and bodies while they're dancing, so we can actually bring some data and science to back up these well-known claims and these well kind of known sort of unstudied, let's say, claims, but we know to be true. So we're excited to put it really on paper and make it something that is really taken seriously by the medical and science community.
I mean, just your organization, you guys have done so many fun and like cutting edge things too. Like, I was fascinated when I found out that you guys did that one thing where it was something like this dance floor, and the more that people danced on it, it like unlocked.
Yeah, the IBM. Yeah, that was the IBM Watson. We did the first AI dance party, so artificial intelligence, where sort of we challenged Watson essentially to raise a giant sun that we fabricated based on the number of people dancing on the dance floor and the energy and the vigorous sort of dancing that was happening. So that was really cool. We also had one party where we would unlock different sort of talent like Gwen Stefani and Diplo based on the steps danced from that we measured from a smartwatch. And so there's like different ways, wearables, like different ways that we have just played in the space of dance, and we continue to to look for other ways to actually use technology for good and utilize it as a connector rather than a separator, and more as an inspirer rather than a kind of a space to compare yourself, to other people. Yeah.
But the theme for WYTV7 this season is try. What is something that you would like people to try more of?
Try dancing, and don't say that you're not a dancer. I really feel like get yourself in front of a mirror, put on your favorite song, and just feel yourself in the mirror. Just like, whether you're a man or a woman, just like find a song. You can either fist pump if you want to. You can find a sensual kind of shoulder movement dance. Just find the dancer in you and just see what it does for your confidence and your courage. And while you're dancing, I want you to say nice things to yourself. You look great. I love your eyes. Like, I love the way you dance. I love the way you're expressing yourself right now. Just like, you're so courageous. You're so magical. Just like really just shower yourself with compliments. And it just really makes such a difference,
Yeah, I want to specifically remind people to go find and download the Daybreaker app. And then when you do, use the code B Greenleaf. So that's B and then GREENLEAF. And that gets you 2 free months off of the year membership. But Rada, where can people find out more information about you and what you're doing?
Yeah, they can go to daybreaker.com or they can find our membership at dose.daybreaker.com. And then follow me on Instagram at love.rada. LOVE.RADHA. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I want to remind everybody, make sure you go check out Rada. And also, if you go online and sign up for her membership, you guys, I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. Also, when you're there, don't forget to go to WYTV7.org and look at all our other programming. And while you're there, press on that donate button, because every dollar that you donate goes to great programming like this, and also for our community activities. And you can see all the things that we're doing in the community there. And once again, don't forget to tune in for another week of Body, Mind, Spirit with me, Dr. Betsy Greenleaf. Once again, thank you so much, Rada, for taking the time to be with us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Wonderful to be here.